Today, we have to do what no man has done before. We have to rank every single episode of Season 1 of The Chosen. Here we go. Alrighty. So, the plan today is to take all of the episodes from Season 1 of The Chosen and to rank them in order. Right here, we'll see our order. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go up here and we're going to pull each one of these into the place where we want them. And, yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm not sure where everything is going to land for me, to be 100% honest with you. But we're going to go through, we're going to kind of recap each episode, and then we're going to drop in the episodes where we think that we want them to be. So here's what I need from you today. I need you, one, like the video, subscribe, help out our channel. That would be a huge, huge help. Secondarily, let me know in the chat below, or if you're watching this on the replay, on the comments below, kind of what you think. What are your ideas? What is your list? I'd love to see your top, I guess your 8 ranking of Season 1 of The Chosen. And if you like this video enough, we'll go into Season 2 and beyond. So I actually, obviously, I think I like Season 2 a little bit more than I do Season 1. I think I know a little bit more about Season 2 as well. I dove into it a little bit deeper than I did Season 1. And so, yeah, definitely good to see you guys. And let's just dive in. So let's start with, let's start right here. We're going to start with episode 1 and kind of just put it at a baseline, okay? So to remind you what episode 1 is, let's go ahead and just scrub through it real fast. We've got Mary Magdalene, of course. We've got a bunch of introductions to a lot of different characters. So the episode starts out back in time with Mary Magdalene and her father. And then we get her kind of waking up, and we get this whole scene with the Roman, with Marcus there. We see Nicodemus and Quintus for the first time, right? We're meeting a lot of characters in this episode. It's kind of overwhelming, if I'm to be honest. But we're figuring it out piece by piece. Very cool. And we keep on going through. We see more Nicodemus. We see more Nicodemus and Shmuel and Yusuf. We see them as well. We see as Matthew is kind of getting set in his place. We meet Gaius. And we see the Red Quarter. Then we're introduced to Simon and Andrew, and of course Simon's brothers-in-law. We see more of that. So I think this episode overall is pretty powerful. We meet Eden as well. And then obviously nearing the end, we focus more on Mary and seeing her kind of going through everything. We also see the predicament that Simon and Andrew are in terms of money. And so that's kind of interesting there as well. And then finally, in the last scene, obviously the famous moment, we see Mary as she is basically focused on the bar there. Jesus comes in and really just like changes her day, right? Obviously. And then we see this moment here at the very end that we're all totally familiar with. We've seen the paintings, we've seen everything. This moment right here where he heals Mary and then he just hugs her here. So pretty good episode. Where would you guys rank this? Let me know in the comments. Type a number where you would rank this 1 through 8, and we'll go through it. For me, let's see here. What do I want to rank this one? Okay. So as a ranking, for now, I'm going to put this at 4, I think. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a little bit lower. There's some really good episodes in Season 1. Okay. I'll put it at 4 for now, and then we'll determine where we want to move it from there, okay? This is going to be really hard. So to preface all of this, right, like, we all know I love The Chosen. I'm a Chosen super fan. This is by far my favorite Christian show that has ever existed, right? So as we're going through this, I love all the episodes, but I think it's interesting if we force ourselves to kind of rank them in an order. So anyway, let's continue going in this. So we've got here episode 2. Episode 2 is Shabbat. Of course, we get Dallas Jenkins here. We get Shabbat, and as we see the beginning of Shabbat, we get a kind of a back in time moment with the people in the desert kind of celebrating Shabbat and what that looks like. And then as we get into it, we see Mary renewed, right? And there's a lot of really cool moments with Mary throughout this episode as well, as we see her for the first time other than Lilith, right, in episode 1. We see more of Matthew as he's pursuing what's going on with Simon, Peter, and Andrew. And he's kind of asking Quintus, like, hey, did you actually do this? What's going on? Which, by the way, if you didn't see our episode from Tuesday this week, I did a whole episode theorizing what it would be like if Quintus became a Christian. So I'd love for you to watch that. It's actually a really fun, just fictional story that I wrote and put together. So that was a lot of fun for sure. Travis says he'd go 5 on episode 1. Lisa says she'll go 3. That's interesting. Okay, so I'll split the middle on that one. I go 4. So we see more of Simon Peter as he's explaining the situation to Andrew and what's going on and how Quintus offered him a deal. We see as Nicodemus is he's studying stuff and seeing different things, and then he hears that the woman has been healed, Mary, right? He thinks that he did it, but he didn't actually do it. We see Simon here as he's trying to catch some of these fishermen, right, as they're going through. We see Gaius breaking up this fight, Mary talking to Nicodemus, of course, one of the most famous moments in all of The Chosen Season 1, you know, I was one way, and now I'm completely different, and the thing that happened in between was him, right? That's a huge, huge quote from Season 1. And Nicodemus saying, someone else? That's a big moment. Simon and Eden getting in a big fight here, because Simon's being a jerk. We see here, as they're getting ready for Shabbat. And, right here, this is actually an interesting moment because we see Matthew's sister. This is the only time in The Chosen so far that we've seen Matthew's sister. And so this is actually really interesting. Something I'm looking forward to for maybe season 3, maybe season 4, later on when he gets to see her again. I wonder if it'll be the same actress, because right here we can see the dad is actually a different actor in episode 2 here as well. But yeah. Episode 2, pretty good. I loved the writing around Shabbat and how that all worked. I thought that was very, very cool. And then Mary coming, we get to meet little James and Thaddeus for the first time, which is very, very cool. And then, of course, Jesus comes to the door. Mary is stunned. We meet Barnaby and Shula as well. So just great, great moments here as we're kind of going through. And then Simon ends off the episode with the Romans coming to him on the shore to go find some Jews, basically, that are fishing on Shabbat. Okay, so episode 2. Let's see. Episode 2. Would I put it above or below episode 1? Episode 2 is really good because, like, you kind of already know some of the characters, and the way that it's all put together, like, I think you understand a bit more of, like, what's going on, and you see the character development a bit more. But is it better than episode 1? What do you guys think? Where would you put episode 2 on the list? 1 to 8. Where would you put it? Okay, I'd put 2 above number 1. Gina says 5. Episode 2, I'd put at 7. Okay. 6. So 1 is being the best. 8 is the worst, or technically the worst, right? But we all love all the episodes. Man, where would I put it? There's some really good lines in episode 2. Meeting Quintus is really cool. Or I'm not meeting him, but seeing him interact with Matthew. I'm kind of meh about both of these episodes, to be honest. Like, nothing is, like, super, like, this is the best episode for me. So I'm going to go ahead and put this at 5 for now, and then we can reorganize it later. All right. So episode 3 is up next. This, I think we're going to have strong opinions about. So here we go. Episode 3. Moving on. We've got... this one is entitled Jesus Loves the Little Children. And, of course, we see episode 3 is different in every season. This is the episode that Dallas writes himself, correct? So as we walk through, we see Jesus alone in the wilderness. This is actually an interesting perspective because in episode 3, it goes back in time before he met Mary, right? And then it kind of catches us up to the present again. And so it's an interesting kind of timeline there as we see. So we see Jesus here as he's praying. We get to meet Abigail for the first time. Remember, she doesn't take any food or anything. And then she comes back later with Joshua. Abigail's awesome. Her family, we get to see them. I always forget her parents' names. Is it Elio? I think so. Joshua here. And then Jesus blowing raspberries, of course, one of the most favorite parts of The Chosen.
Maybe a rooster? Greetings, children. You know, it is not safe for a child to wander from their home. You never know if there are bad men around.
Isn't it crazy how different Jonathan Rumi looks as Jesus already? Like, how crazy all the characters look, really. I mean, it's only been a few years since the show started, and they already look so much different. It's actually crazy to me. Loved it. I'd place that at number 3. Okay, at number 3, this is hard. Episode 3 is number 1 for me. Okay, you'd put it at number 2. Interesting. Okay, let's go through the rest of the episode. So we see as the kids start helping Jesus, they wake him up in the morning. This is one of my favorite scenes here. This moment when he's like waking up, he's brushing his teeth. All of them are helping him. I love how they added in some of the prayers and different things, the Shema and all of that. Really, really cool to see all of that. We see Jesus as he's just teaching them and kind of walking through. He's like, I'm not going to be here with you forever. And then at the end, Abigail comes back. He's not here, but he leaves her the dollhouse here. Kind of showing Jesus' gentleness. Now, this is one of those episodes that really, I think a lot of people started to have a better understanding of who The Chosen was portraying Jesus as, right? The fact that he was wounded and had to heal him, had to put a wrap on his wound, right? The fact that he was speaking to the children and everything there. Yeah, really, really good episode. Man. Okay, I'm definitely ranking this above the first 2 episodes. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'll put it at 3 for now, and then we can move it later if we need to. All right, I think that's good for now. All right, let's move on to episode 4, The Rock on Which It's Built, which is going to be basically the season finale of season 1, part A. Remember how they filmed the season in 2 parts, and so they filmed the first 4 episodes, and then they filmed the last 4 episodes later on. And so we get a lot of different changes that happen in part B of season 1, which is like we see a new Big James in part 2 of season 1. We see a bunch of different stuff, but this is like the season finale of the first half of the season. Yeah, this is really, really hard, Medina. So we'll go through on this one. We've got Simon Peter on the boat. He's hunting down Jewish fishermen with the Romans, but then he finally sees Zebedee's buoy, right? Which he's like, okay, well, I can't turn him in. So he decides not to. We see Zebedee and the brothers Thunder here as they're speaking with Simon about what he's doing, and Simon's kind of confessing what's happening here. We also see Matthew going back to Quintus, having a conversation there. We see more of Shmuel and Nicodemus kind of, arguing here, a little bit of dissonance. Here we see as Simon's mother-in-law needs a place to stay, so Eden is asking him to stay. This is where they get in a huge argument here, and she's hearing him confess to everything. And she's like, you have to change. You have to do better than what you're doing. And then here's where Andrew introduces that he has seen Jesus for the first time.
You said to your dad.
And then we see
I keep
Matthew
track
and
of
Simon.
things. I do it well. Quintus knows I do it well.
Romans have taken him into custody. How did you hear of this?
Shmuel, Rabbi. I believe he may have given the Romans his location.
We do not.
And then we see as Simon goes out to fish for the night. And, yeah, so episode 4. This is like the middle of the episode. Keep on going. We'll see Simon frustrated. His brother and the Sons of Thunder come. And then they think it's Romans on shore, but it's Jesus. He begins to teach, steps on the boat, and then we see the miracle of the fish, right? And then he calls Andrew and Simon and the brothers to come and follow him. So this moment is still, I think it's still really, really good CGI. I think most people would not be able to tell that the fish were fake. I think they actually did an amazing, amazing job with it, for sure. Very, very good. And then Simon coming down and quoting the scripture verse where he is talking to Jesus here. And then follow me. And then Matthew here. And then at the very end of the episode, we get John the Baptist talking here. Okay. So there's a lot in this episode for sure. Where would I put this episode? Let's see. All right. Where would you guys put this episode? Let me know. Let's see. Episode 4 is at 2 for me, Medina says. At 4 on this one. This is really hard to choose. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right, where would you guys put this one? Let me know. Okay, I think I like the little children better than this one because it's so different in the way that it talks about stuff. So I think I'm going to put it at 3, but I love the introduction of John the Baptist. I love the miracle of the fish. I love, man, there's a lot of really good stuff in here for sure. Yeah. Francesco, yes, I did see your idea. Yep. Yeah, what did you guys think about the What If series that we put out on Tuesday? Hopefully I'm going to be doing more of those, but we'll see. I agree with the change. Okay, cool. Okay, I'll leave it at 3 for now. I think I like episode 3 better than I do episode 4. So we're going to leave it there for now. And let's move on. Let's move on to episode 5, The Wedding at Cana. The episode's entitled The Wedding Gift. And Dallas Jenkins again. All right, here we go. So first off, we're starting with the app. We start with Mary. I loved this part of the episode, seeing back in time when Mary was with Jesus in Jerusalem and they lost him, and they go back for him, and he's teaching in the synagogue, right? He's teaching in the temple. This is very cool. First time we get to see Mother Mary. First time we get to see Joseph, which is very cool as well. And it was cool that they used the same Joseph here as in the Christmas, the first original like pilot episode, the Christmas special. And that was very, very cool. We see that. They leave. We see the if not now, when sort of segment there, the theme. We see Mary as she meets her old friend, and they get ready for the wedding. Then we cut back to John the Baptist, who we saw at the end of the last episode, right, with Nicodemus. He's asking him a bunch of questions, and they're going through a bunch of scripture as well, kind of talking through Messiah and who is to come, and Son of God and Son of Man, and all of that stuff. Really, really interesting. Then we see Eden here as Simon comes back from this amazing day that's just happened, and he has to tell her about everything. She's kind of crushing grapes for wine. And he comes in and he tells her everything. This was an amazing moment. I actually loved this whole scene here. He explains everything. They get in here. They have a flirty moment. And then we see, for the first time, we see Rayma and Thomas, two of my favorite characters. I love them a lot. What do you guys think about Rayma and Thomas? Any scene with John the Baptist is great. Funny yet inspiring. Yeah, he's pretty cool. Although I don't think we're going to be seeing much more of him. Just a little bit in season 3, and then I think he's going to be gone. So, yep. More of the wedding. We get the brothers as they begin to join the rest of the group. We see them there. We see Jesus. We see the snooty couple. Rayma and Thomas again. The wedding. Everybody getting ready. John the Baptist explaining more to Nicodemus, walking him through everything. The wedding happening here. We see the father-in-law. The wine situation. We go through. I love this conversation with Thaddeus at the table. One of my absolute favorite moments. And the conversation with Mary and Jesus, as we see in Scripture, right? Very, very good. And the interaction with just doubting Thomas and how he's like really analytical about everything. I really loved that as well.
Abner.
Just for a moment, Thomas.
And here when he calls out Thomas's name, even though Thomas, he never told him his name.
And it will never be the same.
Yeah, this moment here with Thaddeus is one of my favorite moments.
It sets in motion a series of choices. What used to be a shapeless block of limestone or granite begins its long journey of transformation. And it will never be the same.
Yeah, I love that moment right there. Thomas and Rayma, they're giving the wine. It's the best wine ever.
Poured wine, full as this wine.
There's also this mistake here with the father-in-law,
and Dinah,
where he's got a clay cup,
daughter of Abner and Hila.
and then he's got a gold cup
He is
here,
pure and as fruitful as this
and then
wine.
he's got a clay cup again.
Blessed are you.
So it's a funny little incongruency there. And then we see the end here, where Simon has a moment with Jesus as well, and they just have fun dancing through the rest of the night. And Thomas is invited to follow Jesus, as well as Rayma. Very, very cool. All right. That is episode 5. Let's see here. What do you guys think about episode 5? Episode 5, where are we placing it? Where are we putting it? Can't we keep it simple and move children to number 1 and everything else at number 2? This is difficult. That's the whole reason we're doing this, you know? Ooh, 6. Weeb's putting it at 6. I just love the storytelling in this episode. I mean, all the episodes have great storytelling, but I love the congruency of like the beginning and the end of this one. Where are you guys rating it on a scale from 1 being the best, 8 being the worst, quote unquote? Really? You guys are rating it low? A 6? 6? 6? Ooh, interesting. You guys are rating it really low compared to what I think I would. I think I'm rating this one actually pretty high, especially compared to like episode 1. Yeah, I think I'm moving episode 1 probably to 6 and episode 5 to 3. I think that's what I'm doing. You guys are so not on the same page with me. That's so interesting. I think the little children should be 1, to be honest. I say 5. This is my favorite episode. 6, Andrew's feet. Yeah, you guys are so different than me. Let's see. Okay, we'll keep going, and we'll come up with a final thing put together. Judy says the wedding should be 7th. Really? Wow. Huh. I'm moving episode 1 to an 8. I think I might eventually get there as well. Episode 1 is really hard to digest. And I remember when I first started the series, it took me 2 or 3 episodes to really understand. Like, I think by episode 3, I was hooked. Like, that was the episode that really, really hooked me into the show. But the first 2 episodes were like, they were good, but I don't think I was like super hooked until episode 3. All right. Let's move on. Let's go to the next episode, episode 6. Which is entitled Indescribable Compassion. This is the first episode where we see Jesus doing public miracles, right? And so we see a lot of really cool stuff in here. The episode starts off with the leper as he gets found out. Then we see Gaius and Matthew as they have the huge chest of money from Simon here. Right? This is this part where they have like the months and months of taxes, almost 2 years of taxes. Then we see Nicodemus as he's talking through stuff again with the council and everybody else that's there, the Sanhedrin in Capernaum. That's the Av Badin, who is like the vice president of the Sanhedrin. And then we see the disciples in the wilderness as they're traveling around. And Matthew and Quintus again, kind of discussing some different stuff.
I have a knack for creating mistakes.
Simon wasn't responsible for this, Dominus.
Oh, I don't care who he conscripts into his schemes.
Forgive me, Dominus, if my report was unclear.
Yeah, so here Quintus is saying like, oh, it's all dealt with. It's all done. Don't worry about it. I don't care how it was done. I just know that it's done. And then Matthew's like, but you don't understand. Like all this crazy stuff happened. Blah blah blah.
There was a man.
Yes. You're a fine reporter, Matthew, but you're also a bit of a rube.
I love that line for sure. We see
but it's your reaction.
Quintus talking again here. Is this where he? Yeah, this is where he upgrades him to Primi Ordine, right?
Thank you for this honor, Praetor. Only allegiance is to Rome. I've trained to fight for her since I was a boy.
And now you will lead. I hereby promote you to the rank of Primi.
Yeah, Primi Ordine. So he's like in charge of a bunch of centurions now in season 2. We see the new Big James here, which is a pretty cool adaptation. We see the leper again, and this is where he's healed. We see him being healed, which is an amazing, amazing moment here.
Go, show yourself to the priest. Let them inspect you and see that you are cleansed. Make the proper offering in the temple as Moses commanded. And go.
Very cool. Then we see Zebedee as he's welcoming his sons home. We're going to see this again in season 3, which will be very cool. He's going to welcome them home again, but this time they have Thomas with them, and they allow Thomas to stay at their house as well.
That was some soulful singing, my man.
We see Simon singing here.
Praise you, Lord. Praise you, Lord.
Believe me! You really are a traitor.
Matthew confronting Simon about what's going on because he's freaking out because he doesn't know what's going on. Big James and everybody coming in. Mara and Eliel come in.
No,
I knew I'd remember their names.
In heaven.
What was your father's name?
We find out that Joseph is dead.
Father of the bride is a man of great wealth.
Simon's worried about security here.
When I was a student.
I love this scene with Shmuel and Nicodemus. Here they're talking about like Isaiah and the prophecies that come with the Messiah. This is actually really, really interesting to me.
I knew all your sayings. I read every word you wrote. Your teachings were so sturdy, so reasoned and pure.
And this is really where Shmuel stops being a student of Nicodemus and kind of moves on to his own way of thinking.
Shut the door and pray to your Father who sees you in secret. The same is true for giving to the needy. Do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing.
Again, all from scripture, talking about different stuff here.
Situation would require we abandon our post.
Gaius and Matthew head over to that location as well. We meet Tamar for the second time, as she brings her friend to be healed, but they're kind of worried about the situation. We see the kids again, and Matthew, and then finally,
if you are willing, Rabbi, you know you can.
Hey, I'm talking to you. By whom do you teach? Certainly not the authority of any rabbi from Nazareth. Where did you study?
And this is an amazing moment.
Your faith is beautiful.
Yeah.
And so that you may know that the Son of Man has the authority on earth to forgive sins.
Yeah, this episode is so good. Like, okay, so, okay. So we've seen Jesus do so many things in season 1 so far. Like episode 1, episode 2, like he's doing like amazing kind things and stuff. This is really the first episode where we see an adversary that is against Jesus here, right? And so like this is like a really big moment in like how he interacts with the Pharisees, in how he interacts with everything that's going on. And so I think this is really, really important that this happens here, and that we see how Jesus is going to be interacting with the Pharisees and all of that stuff. So episode 6, where would you guys put it as we finish out the rest of this? We see as there's a moment with Nicodemus. There's a moment with Matthew as well.
A paralytic.
Kind of pointing towards episode 7.
On his 2 feet.
Nicodemus wants to set up a meeting.
I will try.
And then Matthew kind of gets a look from Jesus here to end the episode. And if you remember, this is the picture that is the front of the poster book as well. All right, that is episode 6. Okay, where are we putting this one? Let's see. Where would you guys put this one? This episode is definitely a 2 for me. Okay, 2 or 3. It feels so good seeing Jesus confronting the high priest and asserting himself. Yeah. Yep. I say 2. Okay. Anybody else? Where are we placing this one? Is it better than the little children episode? 2 miracles in 1 episode. We get Tamar, who wasn't supposed to be a permanent character in this episode, by the way. She was just supposed to be in this 1 episode. But then she was so good and people loved her so much they decided to keep her on. 1, really? Okay, I can't do this. They're all too good. That's awesome. Let's see here. All right, where would I put this one? I'm thinking definitely top 3. Because the moments at the end are so good. Where do I want to put this one? Let's see. Let's put it at... Yep. Let's move everything down. And we will put it at 2 for now, because I want to leave 1 open, just in case. This may be 1. I don't know. This is a really good episode. I don't know. I think there's some episodes that beat it. Okay, let's see. All right, let's continue on. We got to continue on our hard journey. This is a struggle, but someone's got to do it, you know? No one is brave like me, okay? Nobody is as brave as me to rank the episodes of The Chosen, okay? So somebody's got to do it, and if it's me, it's got to be me, okay? All right. Yes, definitely top 3. This is harder than waiting for season 3. It's going to be a lot harder for season 2. We'll see. We'll see. If you guys want me to rank season 2, I'll do that as well. I think I have a better handle on season 2, and I have way more opinions about season 2. So that would be interesting. So episode 7, here we are. Amazing episode. Begins with Moses and Joshua in the desert. Did you guys know that I did the open call audition, and the scene that I performed was this scene? If you guys want to see that open call audition, let me know, and I may just post it randomly on the channel one day. Yeah, just let me know about it. So we open with that scene. The whole thing kind of comes from, this idea of healing in the desert and all of that. And then we see Matthew, who is a big part of this episode, obviously, coming out of his home, talking to Gaius. Then we get Nicodemus
No. My research here is not completed.
So Nicodemus doesn't want to leave Capernaum because he needs to do more research. He needs to do different stuff.
We have to make it back in time for the bris.
I have complied with every request
Quintus
Rome has made to
and
my
Nicodemus
office,
come back
even
together?
when it infringed on custom.
Let me rephrase. You and I want the same thing. We want rules followed. We want order. Soldiers, money, votes, that's my world. Demons, prayers, oddballs, that's yours. I need to know if our worlds are on a collision course. Crowds, they take time and resources, and then cleanup is a pain.
Safe here. What do you mean safe?
More of the boys in the wilderness. Of course. Get to talk to Jesus. Mary asks if they can set up a meeting with Nicodemus. They do so. Matthew brings his dog, and they meet his mother, who we've seen once before.
But your decision is irrational.
They get in a pretty big argument here, and then he ends up
You
leaving.
never even asked about your sister.
She looks well. I came to celebrate Shabbat a few weeks ago.
Remember, we still haven't seen Matthew's sister, so I think that's something we're going to see in the future. Here's Eden and Simon again.
He's made up his mind about you.
She's reassuring him. She's building him up. I think season 1 did such a good job of building up what this marriage looks like for Eden and Simon. And I think in season 3, we're going to see a lot more of that, which is going to be really interesting to watch. But Simon is going to be kind of building, I think, throughout season 3, and something's going to be kind of breaking within him a little bit. But it's going to be really fun to watch, for sure. And then here's the moment we see Nicodemus and Jesus. This is almost the whole rest of the episode. We see a lot of John chapter 3 in here. Basically, the whole part of this is John chapter 3, as they're quoting throughout different moments here of what's going on.
The Spirit may work in a way
He can't be born again because his mother's dead, all that type of stuff. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. All that kind of happens here.
I understand. But the invitation is still open.
He invites him to
To
follow
what
him.
exactly? To lead a nomadic life, to give up who I am.
It's true. There is a lot you would give up. But what you would gain.
Yep. We get this whole moment. It's amazing. This big hug here.
What are you doing?
Kiss the Son, lest he be angry and you perish in the way.
Matthew. What are you going to do with a mind
And then the
like
calling
yours?
of Matthew to end the episode.
I said to... What are you doing?
And the reason why I'm not playing all these things is, 1, we've seen it all. 2, if I play too much of it, then YouTube will copyright parts of it or whatever. And so it just makes it harder for me on YouTube.
What's the tablet for? But this is different. I'm not a tax collector.
Of course, this line.
Get used to different.
Get used to different. That's where that comes from.
You're the host.
We see Matthew, and then the end right here. And remember, they're ending off this episode, getting ready for a dinner at Matthew's house, which is where episode 8 begins. So, okay. Episode 7. This, for me, is above everything else so far. For sure. So I think this is the order that I have so far. This is a lot harder than I thought. This may be number 1, but the children episode is still probably my favorite. So that may be number 1. Wow, I forgot about this. I would have put this at number 3. Okay. This episode confused me so much I almost stopped watching, but I'm glad I kept watching. It was confusing, but worth it. Introduces most of the major characters. Which episode? Episode 7? One for me because I cried at Nicodemus. I don't really cry at shows, but man, this is really, really good. I think I'm putting it at the top for right now, and then we can kind of discuss as we go through the last episode. Alrighty, let's go through episode 8. Episode 8 is entitled "I Am He."
You know, I've seen the last 10 minutes of episode.
And episode 8 is really, really emotional as well. First off, we're starting off with Jacob and his sons in the desert, basically building Israel, you know, as everything going through. Yes, the scene of Nicodemus and Jesus is powerful. This is so difficult. It's like picking your favorite children. Let's see here. We got Jacob in the wilderness. I love this part. Again, putting the correlation to the well. We're seeing the woman at the well. And all of that. We see her as she comes home to her husband, who denies her request for a divorce. Then we begin the episode with Matthew's house here, as everybody's eating and they're together. Remember, there's a lot of unsavory folks here, prostitutes and tax collectors and a bunch of different random people. And here is my favorite verse in all of the Bible. Mark 2:17 happens right here.
I agree.
Let them speak, Andrew.
They've never offered guilt sacrifices in the temple.
What? The priest keeps records. We check them. Tax collectors are not welcome at the temple.
Would like them better if they made the proper sacrifices.
This is not about me. This is about what God wants.
You are forgetting the scroll of Hosea. Go and learn what this means. I desire mercy more than sacrifice.
Yep, and that's a quote also that we see in season 2 as well, remember?
There are righteous men on the lookout for you, and they are weighing every word you say.
Is that a threat? Please let them know this, Yusuf. I have not come to call the righteous.
Mark 2:17.
But sinners.
Is everything under control here?
Yes. We were just going on our
Gaius
way.
coming in to talk to Matthew. Matthew gives him the keys and everything to his house to give to his parents. We see as Nicodemus and his wife are getting ready to leave. She asks him to leave. He says, okay. We see Quintus and Gaius as Gaius tells him that Matthew quit.
Soldier has been trained and installed.
Good.
And I am reviewing applications for a new publicanus for that district.
What district?
The collection district previously assessed by Matthew.
Why are you doing that?
Matthew left. He quit, Dominus.
What do you mean, he quit? Why would you let him quit?
He is a contractor. I had no recourse.
Quit to do what?
He is to become a student.
I'm the only one among us who is married.
See Simon here.
To assume
Demas.
outcomes. Our work is for God. He chooses where it.
Talking to Shmuel for the last time here in this. They're kind of agreeing to disagree here as they move on. We see Jesus talking to Eden. Another one of my absolute favorite moments.
My mother said I was drawn to his wildness and that I would regret it. I wonder what she will say now.
We're going into town to sell these nets. We'll be right back.
I wasn't expecting you. My mother said I was drawn. That wouldn't be our people's way.
Without taking care of a few things.
And the healing of Simon's mother-in-law. I love this scene so much.
Goat cheese.
Thank you.
Does your friend like goat cheese?
Yeah.
Does your friend like goat cheese?
Yes, I love goat cheese. I should.
We'll go back to.
Take down this decree
well.
in Aramaic, Latin, and Greek, so no one can plead ignorance. By order of Rome and punishable by detention and imprisonment, religious gatherings outside the synagogue and Hebrew school are strictly prohibited.
Yep. This moment too with Nicodemus.
Food and lodging.
What do you mean? We need to go for it to make it to a camp in Tiberias by nightfall.
Simon is correct. Let's go.
See you later, VR dog. Have a good night.
You're gonna wear that? On a trip?
These are my clothes. Should I have others?
Again, Matthew's gonna have new clothes soon, so. This part is just Yep, Gaius talking to Matthew's parents.
Luxury boat off the backs of our people.
We don't actually know what happens to Matthew's house, but we do know it's going to be a part of the future episodes. So I guess we'll see in season 3 kind of where Matthew's house sits, if his parents are using it, or if they've sold it, or if what happened to it. They're talking about going to Samaria here. And of course, the brothers hate Samaritans and hate Samaria.
And if we get attacked, Simon would be happy to show us what to do.
They're talking through it. They're learning to trust Jesus as they're going through here. And then finally, Jesus says, okay, I'll go to this well. And of course, the woman at the well scene happens here.
So I have to come out now, in the heat, as you have so kindly reminded me.
Why won't they be seen with you?
Wouldn't that be nice?
The water I give will become in a person a spring of water, welling up to eternal life.
Really?
God is spirit, and the time is coming and is now here, that it won't matter where you worship, but only that you do it in spirit and truth.
Yeah.
Pass by the oranges in the market.
Yeah. This is where he tells her about all
Soon.
the people she's been with.
Just the heart.
You promise?
I promise.
This man told me everything.
All right, where would you guys rate this one? Emily, tell me. My favorite part of the episode.
Who sent me, and to accomplish his work.
What would you like?
This is my favorite part of the episode right here.
Your water! You forgot your
Come see you, man. You told me everything I ever did.
What number are you guys rating this one?
Rabbi, we got food. What would you like?
Ah, I have food to eat that you do not know about. Who got you food?
Wait a minute. You told her? And she can tell
That scene
others?
is just like, it's so funny because that's exactly how it happens in scripture as well. Like, that's not like just like a made up chosen funny moment. Like, it actually happens in scripture that way. It's so funny. The way that it plays out on live action like this. This is so funny. They end the episode, of course, our first introduction to trouble.
Roll me like a stone in the water.
And that's how season 1 ends, right there. As they walk into the distance with the crew, walking into the sunset. You guys let me know where we ranking this one. This one's pretty interesting. Okay, so the scene with Nicodemus is really, really high for me in episode 7. The calling of Matthew, super, super, super good. Episode 8, the way that they weave in the woman at the well, amazing. I think I'm putting it above. Yeah, I think our order is pretty good so far. I think I'm putting this down to 8. I think I'm putting this at 7. I think I'm putting this at 6. I think I'm putting this at 5. You guys like this one a lot. 2, 1, 1, 1, 1 or 2, 2. Oh gosh, this one's hard. The woman at the well being redeemed, so good. Sets up for season 2 as they're in Samaria. The scene with Matthew eating with Jesus eating with his disciples and all the people at Matthew's house, very, very good. Jacob's well reference at the beginning to tie everything together. You're saying episode 4 has to be in the top 3? I don't think so. I think episode 4 is great, but I think there's other episodes that are just better. Isn't it interesting how Matthew and Nico are so big for you, but Mary at the well is so big for me, a female? Yeah. Mary and the woman at the well. I think Mary is a big deal for me, but episode 1 I can't rank super high because I can't rank it super high because just for that one moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, there would have to be more in episode 1 that I could really dig into. And episode 1 for me was so confusing for me and for all my friends to understand who all these characters were and stuff. Like, I can't rate it super high. I can't rate episode 1 super high. Yeah, 1 is really good, but I think it only climaxes at the very last moment of episode 1. Where in the beginning of episode 1 and during it, like, you're like so confused about who these characters are and who you're being introduced to, and like, yes, it's exciting and it's interesting, but I really wasn't hooked into the series until probably episode 3, and I think episode 3 was so well executed as a show, as a you know, an episode, that it deserves to be there for sure. Man, where am I gonna put this one? Where am I gonna put it? Okay, episode 8. Oops. Uh-oh, I lost it. Let me fix that real fast. I lost my picture. Okay, let me get it. Where'd you go? There are D's. All right. Got it back. Okay. Go back to All right, cool. I'm back at it. Alrighty. What do you guys think? This is so hard. Okay, let's just go episode by episode. So we've got episode 8. Is it better than episode 3? I think it's more impactful. It's more impactful to the season overall. So yes, although I think episode 3 is probably more. It's more like unique in the storytelling of Jesus. Is it better than episode 6? Episode 6. Episode 6, going back to Capernaum, we get the big paralytic being healed. We get the showdown with Shmuel there, which I really like. But I think I'm going to put this one above it. and put this one down here. We see the escalation of the Romans kind of like cracking down on religious stuff outside. Oh, okay. What do you guys think? I think this is my final layout. What do you guys think? We've got episode 1 and episode 2 bringing up the rear in 8 and 7. Then we have episode 4 at number 6. Episode 5 where we meet Mother Mary. We get to see Joseph for the first time in this series, and we get to see Jesus as he interacts in that way. We also see Jesus' first miracle here. Then we have at number 4, episode 3, where it's the little children, and he helps them kind of like walk through stuff. We see the heart of Jesus. We see the humanity of Jesus. I think that's a huge point of this episode. And then in episode 6, we see Tamar for the first time. We get 2 miracles. We get the leper, and then we also get the paralytic who is healed. And then obviously Tamar becoming a big part of season 2. I think that plays into it as well. There's a lot of stuff that happens in that episode. Episode 8, I think, is our runner-up here. And there we get the woman at the well. We get the dinner at Matthew's house. We get the beginning with Jacob at the well. We get just the disciples kind of like going through the motions of what they're going to do and kind of getting together. We also see Nicodemus as he turns down the invitation, kind of the culmination of episode 7. Oof. This is really hard. The Creative Teach, thank you so much for the $5. She says, thank you for doing this. You brought joy to us. I hope so. I hope it brought joy and not stress. And then at number 1, we have The Invitation, episode 7. What do you guys think? I think that's pretty close to what I would put as my top, as my ranking for season 1 of The Chosen. I think that's what I would put. Let's do this. Season 1 Chosen ranking. And we'll bring this down. Bring it over. Oop. Should probably spell correctly though, huh? Uh-oh, this is all going to be messed up. Let me close this. I'll fix this in a second. Oops. Oop. Let me see if I can fix this. Come on! All right. Season 1 Chosen rankings. What do you guys think? Monica, thank you so much for the $5. She says, this is really fun. Thanks so much. Yeah, I thought it was fun as well. It was cool getting to hang out with you guys and just talk through it. All right, let me know in the comments below if you guys are watching this on the replay or if you're watching this right now. Leave a comment on this video with your ranking of all the 8 episodes. I want to just see it. Do number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, all the way to 8. And just let me know your ranking of all the episodes. I really want to know that because I want to see how you guys would rank it compared to what I've done here. And that would be really interesting to see. And let me know your explanation for like why you picked things and what you would rather have done. We're going to do season 2 for sure because I loved this. I loved doing this. This is fun hanging out with you guys. We're going to do season 2 for sure. Not today, but we'll do it another time. And yeah, we'll definitely jump into that one. I have a lot more opinions about season 2, I think. So, all right. So one more time, I'll show you what we did for our final ranking. Chosen season 1 rankings. Here we go. Number 1, we've got Invitation. Number 2, I Am He. That's episode 8. Number 3, we have episode 6. Number 4, we have episode 3. Number 5, we have episode 5. Hey, that's interesting. Number 6, we have episode 4. Number 7, we have episode 2. And number 8, we have episode 1. All right. That's what we've got. So that's pretty much it. Alrighty. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. And I hope you like this video. Please check out these other videos that I have right here. And I'd love to see you guys on the next one. We'll see you later. Peace.